Hi, this is Greg with Lionquestfitness. Now, last week I did a video on Chief Rolling Thunder here, and I really didn't get to talk too much about Combat Magnums or about this one in particular. So, let's talk about old Chief Rolling Thunder. Now, you may ask, Greg, why are you dressed like you are today? Well, every once in a while I like to dress professionally for a video because sometimes I have to wear professional clothing and I am carrying a firearm. But more important, I like punking the tactical Timmies out there who are going to see me shooting a revolver, and they're going to curl their nose up in disdain and say, and send a comment saying, "Fud." Now, speaking of misperceptions, I named this gun Chief Rolling Thunder. Reason being, Combat Magnum, law enforcement, chief of police, the way this gun rolls the bullets down range in a thunderous way. And about a year ago, I did another video where I featured this gun, and I had a gentleman get all over me about cultural appropriation, how I was denigrating and not giving credit to a Native American shaman named Chief Rolling Thunder, and I should be ashamed of myself. Well, I looked it up. There was a Chief Rolling Thunder, but you know something? He was some hippy-dippy white guy posing as a Native American shaman back in the 60s and 70s. He was kind of a huckster. And I did, not profane, but I did say some choice things to the gentleman who accused me of cultural appropriation. So let's get into nuts and bolts of the Combat Magnum. Okay, in a Murph's holster from China Grove, North Carolina. What this is a Model 66-2. These were made between 1982 and 1986. Now, I do have what's called a safe snap from Zeta 6, and these come in very handy because you can use them in lieu of using snap caps, and it also lets you know that the gun is not loaded. Now, this gun has a very smooth trigger and smooth action. When I got it, it probably had been somebody's truck gun or boat gun. It does have some pitting. It's about 85% condition cosmetically, but functionally it's 100%. Now, the grips I have on the gun, and they're thick. They're faux ivory grips from Robertson's Trading Post off eBay. Weren't very expensive. Now, obviously, you look close, okay, yeah, they're polymer grips, but they're very functional. Now, I did have some Altamont grips, very nice looking Altamont grips, but they were a lot thinner. Also, I had the original Smith & Wesson grips. But once again, these are much thicker and offer better recoil management, especially with 357. Now, a couple of things I do want to mention. This Tyler T grip adapter that helps fill your hand, I don't think that company is in business anymore. You can find these on eBay. And there is another company called BK Grips. They make a polymer version of this, which I actually find I get a better grip on. And those are possibilities if you want to get a filler. Now, this holster, when I'm not dressed up, this is normally the holster I use for the Chief. And this is an Azula holster for a 2-inch K-frame. So let's talk about the history of the Combat Magnum. Now, the Combat Magnum was the brainchild of Border Patrolman Bill Jordan in the 1950s. And he wanted a lighter K-frame that could shoot .357. So Smith & Wesson rolled out the Model 19 Combat Magnum in 1955, and then later in the 1960s they came out with the Model 66 Combat Magnum, which is a stainless version of the gun. And this was very popular with law enforcement, but there was a problem. And it had to do with the design of the forcing cone, which is flat on the bottom. And what would happen, they would shoot .357 rounds through this gun, heavy dye to .357, and it would crack the forcing cone. So the kind of solution was, always practice with .38 and then carry .357, but it's really not much of a solution because you really need to practice with what you're going to carry. Now, me personally, most of the time, I carry 38 plus P in this gun because I can get on target faster. But the round I shot today, Georgia Arms, .357 hollow point. Now it's 158 grain, so it's a heavier bullet, and it also has a slower velocity, only 1,200 feet per second, which is not very fast for a .357. However, I was really impressed with the way it tore up those water jugs, and it kind of lends credence to heavier bullet, slower speed. I'm no expert when it comes to ballistics, but that is a round I would feel okay about carrying in this gun. So, this is Chief Rollin' Thunder, and this is Greg with Lionquest Fitness.